When I did the video about this game way back then, there was no physical version nowhere near in sight. Therefore, I had to use the Nintendo Switch version for this, and you can go watch that video if you want. I had a few complaints about the game, but overall I liked it, and the developers improved the game over time. So this time around I will use the physical PlayStation 5 version, which by the way it's my first video about a PlayStation 5 game, and see what happened here, and yes, I will keep it short. And by the way, the physical version was also released on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. In the digital version way back then I mentioned that even though we saw 10 cars total, in reality there were only 2, because all circuit cars felt the same as did all drift cars, despite all having different bodies. But now look! The same 10 cars are in here! Amazing! Seriously though, this is a massive improvement, because these are actual 10 different cars. They have stats, they felt different to drive, and they even sound different from one another. Now this is what I was talking about way back then. But honestly, for the physical version they could have added 2 new circuit and drift cars on top of it as unlockables or something. But hey, let's not be nitpicky here. One thing that will be obvious are the new tracks they added. Even today, and I had to test it, the digital version has the same original 18 tracks only, while the physical version added 6 new tracks. We have Kaido, Reykjavik, and I hope I pronounced that correctly, Sydney, Pompeii, Shibuya, and 1 track returns. Monte Carlo, more commonly known as Monaco. Oh yeah, I had a big fat grin in my face once I realized that this track was back. But don't get me wrong, the new tracks are actually fun to race around. Well, almost. Shibuya is a bit of a mixed bag because the track is not only small but it overlaps. I never liked tracks that overlap like this because you suddenly might get hit from the side or something. That can get annoying if it happens. But what made me even happier is the fact that now they allow us to use the D-pad to steer the car. It's like developers Repixelate saw my old video about the first 2 games and went, yeah, okay, let's add the D-pad function. Seriously though, thanks for that one, Repixelate, or whoever decided to add that function. You might drive or be more used to the analog stick, which is fine, and more power to you, but I personally prefer to drive with the D-pad. Yeah, in a way I'm kind of old school. And as a result, I had way more fun with Formula Retro Racing World Tour because of this. I could drive better and react faster to whatever was in front of me. Well, if I could see it coming, that is. Only in the physical version they added all 24 tracks in reverse for double the fun, technically. At least if you like tracks in reverse, that is. And finally they added also this weird function for some reason. You can use the D-pad and the analog stick to drive. Oh no, I'm not talking about one or the other, I'm talking about both at the same time. Meaning both are necessary. I've tried it and yeah, nah, not my thing. Just give me the D-pad and I am happy. One thing that is baffling is when you set a record, then this list appears on screen and doesn't go away until you change screens. This is a fucking weird bug. And regarding drifting, you still cannot make small adjustments while driving straight without starting to drift. I mean, it doesn't seem to be as bad as it was before when I made the original video, but it's still there. Personally, I would have preferred if they implemented an extra button to let the car drift instead of just pressing left or right and the car starts drifting automatically. But overall, they did improve the game with updates and upgraded it even more for the physical release. No, I did not address every single improved detail, I focused more on the major upgrades. If you liked the game before, then you probably will like it more now. If you never played it, then just grab a copy and go to town.